What's up? It's Wild Runs here, and today we're going to be talking about my first tournament. Now, again, this is not all that long ago since I'm relatively new to the sport, but I thought it was going to be a good intro to kind of what you might expect if you haven't gone to a tournament yet, and just the overall vibe that I've gotten from. I've done 3 tournaments so far. So, first off, it was just a intermediate C tier. I didn't really expect to do all that well, but you'll see um, how much that really plays out. So I started, it was one of my favorite courses. It's called Rosedale. It's super popular, one of like the top courses in Kansas. And I knew beforehand during practice rounds that I could get potentially par or better. Now I'd have to play really, really well to get close to that, but I have gotten in practice rounds that. But knowing Kansas, obviously it's going to get windy the day of the tournament, and you're going to have to deal with that. So I got to the tournament at like 7 a.m. I was feeling pretty confident, and then I started feeling the wind, and it was a little bit chilly, and I could tell, ooh, yeah, this is going to be a little bit tougher than I thought. This is not going to be just a casual, no wind, chill round. This is going to be a little bit more intense. And for this C tier, there was 2 rounds. So you could really gauge how well a person was going to do based off their first round since it's the same course. But I thought maybe, just maybe I could get top 50%. That would be enough for me to be super excited and hopefully feeling pretty good. But as I started practicing before the rounds and trying my putts, I was just like, oh, okay. Everyone around me is so much better than I am. They can just drain circle one putts like it's nothing. And here I am throwing, I want to say my starter set putter for a lot of my practice putts because that's all I had at the time. And I just didn't really think about how good I was until I actually saw people that were amazing. And that was a little bit eye-opening, and I definitely got a little bit more nerves after that point in time. But I just thought, hey, this is just for fun. Like, even if I do awful, that's fine. So we get to hole 1, or it was hole 10, because everyone started at a different hole, but started at the same time, which was awesome, because I really like that. So you can see scores real time versus having to wait for tee times and all that. Much prefer having everyone just start at the same time. But we started on hole 1, or hole 10, and immediately I shank, and I'm just like, yep, this one's going to be a toughie. So I go through the first 4 holes, getting like bogey, maybe a par or 2, but I think I went like +5 through 5. Maybe I missed some putts. And I didn't really think about it too much. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm not really playing my best, but that's fine. It's like, it's windy. I'm sure everyone else is doing a little bit bad too. And then I get to, I want to say hole 13. And this one has OB, and it is not a forgiving OB. You can go into the street, and if you are OB, you have to go through a line of trees that are just danger. You can definitely hit a tree and go back. So I throw my shot. I was feeling really confident. I was kind of hugging the trees, which I should not have done. But I shank it. It hits hard right, like 100 feet into the next hole. So I just go into panic mode, and I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to do here? So I go grab my disc, and I think I played it where it lies. And then somebody on a different card was like, whoa, you need to play it where it went out. And I was like, I thought I did. And he was like, no, you need to go all the way back. And I had to go back like 100 feet. So I was tilted. I was like, oh my goodness, this is awful. It's never like that intense if you're just playing by yourself on a casual round. But when the stakes are on the line, every hit just makes it so much more stressful. So I do my second throw after going OB, and I think I just shank it hard to the ground, and I want to say I go OB again. I don't really remember. I just know the score I got. And I missed a couple putts, so I went from going like +4 or +5 after 5 to an 8 on that hole. So I went from +5 to +10, and I was just like, oh boy, this is awful. And this is just never an experience I've had playing a casual round because every throw you kind of just feel loose. You don't really think about it too much. But everyone around me knows the score I just got. They know they're better than me. And it was tough. I never necessarily prided myself on being an amazing player, but it hurt to know that like all the rounds that I've played is nothing compared to what these guys are doing. So I just keep on playing, and get a couple pars, miss some birdie chances, and actually ended up with, I want to say plus 18, which is still awful. But I ended up with like maybe plus 8 on the back 12 holes. So that was an improvement, but still not great. I look at the scorecard, and it is not even close. I am dead last for round 1. And my only thoughts are, well, let's just make sure round 2 is a little bit better and go on to the next tournament, because there's nothing I can do that will make me really do any better than last place because I'm already so far down. But the next round comes, and I'm honestly feeling pretty confident. Not to win or anything, not to do way better than before, but just more confident in my putts, more confident in my drives. Because I have played the sport a good bit before I started the tournament, so I was just like, man, if I just like stop getting in my head about it, I can actually make these shots. So I get some amazing drives, still miss the putts because I'm still a bit tilted on putting, and I'm not that good yet, and I'm not that good now. But I just try to stay focused, stay confident. Everyone on my new card was just super relaxed and super chill. So like it was pretty fun to like hang out with them, and overall it was a really fun experience. But my goodness, just getting to anywhere inside the circle and missing a putt just hurts so much when you see everyone around you just draining them from 20, 25, 30. It is a lot to take in for my first experience, because when I'm playing that course, I see everyone around me throwing, and I'm just like, man, I think I'm better than that guy. I think I'm better than this guy. But when you're in a tournament mode, everyone there thinks they're somewhat decent. So you have to really prove yourself. And that was tough. So I came out of that learning, really need to practice my putts, really need to practice my layups, because that was a point of contention where I thought I was good. But unless you're like super close, you're not guaranteed that putt. And then really focusing on the position of my drives, because the distance wasn't really that bad. It was just positioning towards the basket and not just throwing it as hard as you can, because a lot of times it's going to hyzer out and not go the direction that you want. So overall, I loved it. I was stressed out the whole time, but it was like a good stress. It reminded me a lot of high school events. I did cross country, and you may not necessarily think of cross country as the most stressful thing to do, but beforehand, like your nerves are running high, and during the race, like all the cylinders are running in your head. So I think it's actually a pretty similar experience with the amount of focus you have to have. So I think I'm actually well suited for this sport, but I just have to grind to make sure I can actually throw the shots that I need to be throwing. So with that said, if you're looking to do a tournament, I highly recommend it. I did an intermediate just because I wanted to get a rating. You don't have to do that. You can just do recreational. Honestly, the scores for recreational were pretty good. I think a lot of the people, not a lot, most of the people in the rec tier beat my score. So obviously people in there are not too bad. And not to say that you shouldn't do it if you're not the best, but it's obviously a really fun challenge no matter what tier you do. So I recommend everyone do it. Even if you think it's a little bit more expensive than you want to be doing, I still think it's a great experience, and it will improve your game. You'll see so many different shots, so many different plays that you're like, oh, I didn't know you could do a forehand on this hole. And just like the camaraderie for the whole round, it's just so much fun. So with that said, this is Wild Run signing out. Have a great day. Peace.